Huge subject today, just huge subject. Ladies and gentlemen, I have time to make this video today because I'm not working out. I can't work out today. I did about 5 workouts in a row. Body says, dude, you need some rest. So I'm 63 years old. One of the themes in my life as a watch addict and an addict in general. Believe me, if you're a watch addict, you're probably generically speaking an addict. You have an obsessive personality. If you're a watch addict like me, you don't just wear a watch the way a regular person wears a watch. You wear a watch the way a musician craves music. When I wear a watch, this watch or any of my huge collection of 5 watches, I actually hear music. The watch, it sings on my wrist. Maria Callas, Sarangelica, Puccini. I hear music when I wear a watch. It's a strange condition. It's a strange mind virus that has ruined many lives. It's ruined many marriages. It's ruined many people's finance. The only thing that will ruin you worse is a gambling addiction. Gambling addiction, sports betting is probably the worst thing you could do. If your watch addiction is keeping you out of gambling and sports betting, just stay with the watches. Just stay with the watches. So, as an addict at 63, here's what I want to talk about today. Restriction as regards to food. Yes. So, last night, my wife and I were watching reruns on Netflix of one of the greatest shows of all time. It's called Arrested Development, about a dysfunctional family. And this show is about 20 years ahead of its time. It's sort of like the precursor to 30 Rock and other shows of that nature. And, we're watching multiple episodes, and between episodes, I get up to have what I call my satiety apple. Don't confuse the word satiety with the word society. Satiety is feeling full. Now, an apple is one of the foods that's on the satiety scale, like, potatoes, eggs, and apples, they fill you up. So in the absence of a calorie-dense snack, I'd rather eat a satiety apple. So my plan, watching Arrested Development, was to get up, go into the kitchen, get a little tiny satiety apple, and eat it. And when I eat it, I eat the whole thing, core, everything but the stem. It's part of a ritual. I try to do that instead of having a bowl of cereal, which cold cereal is my lifelong curse. So anyways, I go into the kitchen to get an apple, and on top of the microwave, I see this very attractive box. It's a pie box, and we had leftover apple pie from Thanksgiving, which we hosted, and it exhausted me. I'm not an entertainer. I don't like to host. I don't like to do dishes. I don't like anything of it. It's a Chinese restaurant next time. Anyways, that's up for debate between my wife and me. So anyways, I see the pie box. And I'm thinking, dude, you're 63. Have the last piece of pie. So I get the last piece of pie. It's beautiful looking. I don't even think I need to eat this with a fork. I can just eat it with my hands. Go into beast mode. So I'm hunched over the sink with this pie. I thought I was having a private moment. Yeah. My daughter comes in, and she looks at me with a certain contempt. She goes, Dad, when was the last time you were ever on a diet? And I looked at her. What are you asking me? What are you monitoring my eating strategies? And she looks at me, and I look like Gollum with a ring. I'm hunched over like a beast. She goes, what strategy? With the real deadpan. And, I was ashamed because I realized in that moment that I am a fat slob. I mean, I try to eat a high protein diet. I work out, and but my daughter, she saw me in my moment of shame, and the irony did not pass me by that I was watching Arrested Development while I was being a man-child And I am a man-child. I mean, if your behavior stems from your character, then I don't know what kind of hope there is for me to exercise appropriate restriction at my age. I don't know if I could do it. I mean, I am a man-child, but then one of my worries is when you call yourself a man-child, are you essentially giving yourself a permission slip to be a self-indulgent slob? But at the same time, if you don't acknowledge that you're a man-child, are you just embarking on a fool's errand, trying to embark upon a diet of restriction? I don't know, man. I want to share something with you guys. I was watching The Weight of the World last week. It's a documentary about Ozempic and all those weight loss drugs and dieting culture. And there was this dude. He struggled all his life with weight. He was lonely. The pain, he wore it on his sleeve. And he found, this Ozempic stuff is expensive. And there's a lot of side effects. But this guy was desperate, and he found a way to get it. And he was talking about something that fascinated me, man. I didn't even know this term existed. There's this term, it's called food noise. And he said when he took Ozempic, the food noise went away. What the heck is food noise? I never heard of this before. I should have heard of it because I have it. Food noise is and by the way, I have watch noise too. When you hear the definition of food noise, you go, oh, wait a minute. I got that in the world of watches. Anyways. Oh, boy. Food noise is this ongoing, never-ending preoccupation with food so that even as you're eating, you could be eating breakfast, a snack, lunch, even as you're eating, you're planning your next meal. You're thinking. You're having this delicious breakfast, French toast, turkey sausage, and you're already thinking about the delicious hero sandwich you'll be eating for lunch. It's unbelievable. I have food noise. And I also, I don't think I have watch noise the way I used to, but I used to have watch noise. I would be opening up a box of a watch, and I'd be thinking about the next watch either that I was going to buy or that was in transit from Singapore. Unbelievable. Watch noise, food noise. That's disgusting. But this guy said Ozempic was the cure for his food noise. He didn't have it anymore. By the way, I'm not sold on Ozempic yet. It's too costly. The side effects are too much. You lose energy. You lose muscle. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. But anyways, so then I read, I did some online research, and it's always so rigorous when it's online, on ways to get rid of food noise. And now I'm going to depress you. I already do all the things to get rid of food noise, and none of these things work. I eat a high-protein diet to achieve satiety. Doesn't work. I eat sufficient fiber from eating fresh fruits and vegetables. Doesn't work. I keep active, playing the piano, writing, working out, so that my mind's not always on food. Doesn't work. And I started thinking about this. Why doesn't it work for me? And I realized I crave food the way a musician craves music. I need music on all the time when I'm writing and working out or whatever. And I need food all the time. Food is not even about the physical appetite. Oh, listen to your appetite cues. What the heck does that mean? I love eating the way a musician loves listening to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. So it's beyond nutrition and satiety. It's a love for the food itself, separate from your physical needs. It's disgusting. I don't know if there's a cure for it, man. Food noise, man. Yeah, well, I don't know if I can get rid of it. So I talked about this subject a while back, and one of you guys shocked the heck out of me. Listen to this. I've been haunted by something one of you guys told me. Oh, I was talking about, here I am, I'm 63, and I'm always trying to negotiate, how much do you restrain yourself, and how much does it not even become worth it anymore? Listen, man, What if I went on like a plant-based diet, or what if I ate only 3 meals a day and kept my calories around 1,900 or 2,000 a day, and I got lean? What if that added 5, 6, 7 years on my life? Have you guys looked at people's last 7 years of their life? It's not pretty. It's really not that pretty. And I was talking about this on a video, and one of you guys said something that haunts me. One of you guys said, dude, McMahon, you're already 63 years old. That's the meat and potatoes of life for most people. Everything you get now, after 63, in fact, this was at 62, so he was saying at 62, but let's just say 63 for now. Everything in your life now at 63 is just gravy. You've already had your meat and potatoes. Don't even worry about what you eat. And I started thinking, is that what we do in the last stage of our life? You've lived the meat and potatoes part of your life, and I'm retiring in 2 years. Do you then go into the gravy stage and just say, screw it, man, I'm just going to cave into all my indulgences? I struggle with that because I know from life experience and reading that the self-indulgent man is not happy. I know from reading the Tusculan disputations that a maudlin existence where you invest excessive emotion into food and other things is not a sign of a happy, fulfilled person. But I really struggle with that. I don't know, man. Do I just succumb to the gravy stage of life and do my pleasure? When I think of how your life is separated from your meat and potato stage of life and then your final stage, it's all gravy now, babe. Just enjoy it. I think of 2019. My family and I were vacationing. We were in Maui, and there was this dude at the beach. I might have talked about this before. I don't know. Anyways, there was this dude at the beach. He looked to be about 75 years old. He was a short, compact man. He was manscaped. He was trim. You could tell I got the vibe that he was very rich. CEO. Part of my vibe that he was very rich is that he was with a partner, a beautiful Mediterranean-looking woman, about 23 years old, completely knockout. And when I see a knockout with a 75-year-old man, my first thought is, and forgive me if I'm being presumptuous, my first thought is, this isn't so much love as it is the dude has money. And so I'm looking at this, and he kind of had like the perfect existence for himself. He's rich. He has the ultimate Mediterranean pulchritudinous goddess by his side. They're scampering on the beach. He was wearing, 75 years old. He was so manscaped, so trim. He was wearing blue Speedos, something I would not do. No, I'm not wearing Speedos. That's not my deal, man. Anyways, very confident man. And yet, there was something about that picture of him with his 24-year-old beauty. I'm not judging him for having a 24-year-old beauty, but what I'm trying to say is, through his sheer willpower and his resources, it was like he was taking two halves of a broken mirror, him and the beautiful woman, and he was trying to fit them together. And the more he tried to force the two halves of the mirror to fit together, the more the mirror started to fragment and chip and get all messy looking. He, in his own mind, he was living the meat and potato part of his life. But for the rest of us, his existence was kind of off, kind of like an eyesore, kind of like indigestion when you had a taco and the cabbage you put on top of your fish taco was a bit more fermented than you want. Are you talking about food again? Well, at least I'm not talking about watches. At least I'm not doing gambling addiction. Anyway, so I really struggle with that. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm kind of angry because I work out so much that if I ate 3 meals a day, 700 calories a meal, which is pretty generous, that's 2,100 calories a day, I would be ripped. And yet, something as indulgent as that, for me, in my man-child baby ways, is too restrictive. It's pathetic. And yet it maybe would make me happier. Look, man, let's look at my watch collection. I've had as many as, I think, 60, 64. I mean, granted, they were cheap TV watches. But even when I went into more legit watches, I think I've had as many as, I don't know, 18, 20. And I was miserable having that amount. I'm far happier having 5. In fact, having 5 makes me so happy that every time I get the urge to buy a new, and I'm not going to mention them to you because you guys will go on the comment, you should buy that one. Oh yeah, oh yeah. The voice will be there, man. But every time I get the urge to get a new watch, I just think, wait a minute. You know, the watch potency principle, you're going to, I know from past experience that if I have a beautiful watch that's just sitting in my box because I don't have time to give it a lot of wrist time, I just become miserable. Oh, I can't stand it. Now, I just know that from experience. It's 20 years in this madness. So, I don't even know what I'm going to title this. I don't know. Food noise? I don't know, man. I'll figure it out, man. I'm going to post this. I got to put together a vacuum cleaner. I bought a new vacuum cleaner. I'm not going to bore you with my domestic explorations. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think, man. Do you have food noise? Do you have watch noise? You living in the meat and potatoes stage of your existence? Or like me, is it all gravy? And if I'm living in the gravy, how come I'm not celebrating? Why am I a little bit sobered by this news? I don't know, man. I have so much to think about. And until next time, I'm out.